video is not very educational, and I can't teach you how to be a better person or how to get out of bed, because trust me, it is taking everything I have just to sit on my kitchen floor other than in my bed. Hello everyone, welcome back to Vlogmas Day 7. I just wanted to kind of sit and talk with you guys a little bit about a little thing called mental health. Mine's really bad. I'm just going to be kind of talking about my experiences with it and kind of what's been going on up here in my head. And I'm going to be doing some stretching because I'm bleeding out of my vagina and I feel really like tense, and I've been laying in bed a lot and I just feel really... So if you guys want to get on your mat or on a towel or on a carpet, or just watch this from the comfort of your couch or bed, please do that and kind of, I don't know, think about some of the ideas that I'm putting out, and I don't know, listen to me, talk to you, what my mental health is like. So, that wasn't good. I have had really bad anxiety, I think, for as long as I can remember, but it didn't start really impeding on my well-being until I was in high school. So, oh my god, I'm so tight, holy shit. That's what she said. As I was getting into high school, I started like getting really sad, and I thought I was just teenage angst, and I would skip school, and I was like, I want to do K-12, I don't want to go to school anymore. I was getting picked on because I was a little emo kid in this country town, and I was overweight, and I was really, really, really insecure about that. And I would like be like, I'm the third fattest girl in school, or I would like rank and see like, where do I stand, you know, and everything. And really, really toxic stuff. But then I discovered that I wanted to do something creative, and I wanted to start acting, and my school didn't have a theater program, so I tried to start one, and naturally that didn't work because I was in a little country town and no one wanted to do theater. When I got to college, I started doing theater, and I had a great time, and I was making friends. It took a while, and I was still pretty anxious, and I always had really bad health anxiety, and I was always thought I had blood clots, heart attacks. You know, my mom would watch like medical shows, and she would be like, I was like, oh no, I have that. And Mom's like, no, you don't. But when I got to college, things were a little bit better. I kind of had stress, but for reasons now. So like I was stressed about, you know, finals or things like that. I was like more social, and I had friends. And then I met my current boyfriend, Lance, who I love very dearly, but he ruined my schooling. I was not caring as much. I just wanted to talk to him and spend time with him. We were long distance for a while, so it was taking up a lot of my energy. I talked to my theater director at the time, and he was like, you know what, why don't you just get your associates? You don't have to go to just take one more year at Blinn, and that's the college I went to, and just get your associates and see how you feel. I couldn't afford to like have a place on my own like me and Lance. I didn't want to take out another loan. I moved in with my mom and Lance, but I was going to go to school online and do Blinn shows. On our way to auditions for that new semester, we got in a car accident and totaled our car. And then I decided I wasn't going to be in that show because obviously I didn't have a reliable transportation, and I still had a job in College Station. So I was like, holy shit, you know, so I had to quit my job because I didn't have reliable transportation to get back and forth. So I quit my job, and I was still doing school online. Around this time, Lance got a stomach virus, or like food poisoning, and something in me like snapped at that point, and I became so afraid of getting sick, of food poisoning, vomiting, being nauseous, eating too much, eating too little, acid reflux, anything that had to do with my stomach, I was terrified, and it was like that. And it's been that way ever since. It's now been about a year and a half since I've had this phobia, and that, I will say, is when it has completely changed my life. I am 100% a different person. I don't like leaving my house. I have become severely agoraphobic. I got a job recently, and then I had to quit because just being there was giving me such intense panic attacks. I don't keep in touch with any of my friends really, and when I do, like, I don't like making plans, and like I hang out with Megan, and she understands, and she's very sweet, but I'll have panic attacks, and sometimes I just can't leave the house yet, or I can't stay out too long. I have to go home because I'm having such bad panic attacks, or I feel so nauseous, or it's just so crazy. And I think I've become someone who I don't even really recognize, and that's kind of what I want to talk about now, because I'm kind of having another identity crisis. I'm kind of having like a year and a half long identity crisis, but I just want to like talk about when we change, because it's crazy when you notice that you've changed, because there are small changes that you don't even really notice, you know, that you've changed, and or when you change for the better. I want to talk about what happens when we notice we've changed for the worst. And what I mean by that is, like, we notice that we're doing toxic behavior, or we notice that we've become so depressed or so anxious, and how to kind of get ourselves out of that funk, because it's not a good place to be. So I just kind of want to talk about kind of that realization and how to deal with that. So I realized that it was kind of destroying my life right before I moved to Austin, Texas. So we moved to Austin in about March, and my life completely was just down in the dumps in like late 2017. And so I decided, you know, like, I want to get out of my mom's place, and I gave myself this like grand fantasy of that, well, when my circumstances change, I'll change. That was my biggest mistake, because no matter, if I can give you one piece of advice, it does not matter what happens around you, you have to change in here. Because when I first moved to Austin, everything was getting better. I promise. Everything was looking up. We got a new car, and we got this amazing apartment, and we were, you know, decorating, and everything was new and exciting, and I was like, wow, you know, like, there's more acting opportunities here. And then once things started getting a new normal, I started just going downhill again. So I started, getting in my old habits. I would, avoid leaving the house. I would lay in bed all day. I lay in bed like 20 hours out of the day, like, or just lay or sit 20 hours out of the day, if not more, because I don't do anything. I don't have anything to do. I'm doing this Vlogmas, and then that's it. A lot of times I can't get out of bed, and so it's hard to kind of admit to yourself that, okay, I need to be better. I don't know how to be better sometimes. Like, I'll be like, okay, I know a lot of the things that I need to do. Like, okay, I need to start, getting up. I need to start doing more things. Another thing is that we just don't have any money. So, like, any extra money. So I want to start, like, taking classes, and I want, acting classes, and I want to start, doing this or that. And so I feel stuck again. It's that same feeling of where I would blame what was going on around me for the reasons like that I felt the way I felt. So I'm like, I felt anxious and depressed and sad all the time because I was stuck at home at my mom's place because we didn't have a car and we were in the middle of nowhere. Well, I feel that same way, even though I'm in the middle of a major metropolitan area in an apartment where I can walk and go to the bus and go downtown. I could go to the mall, I could go wherever. But then I'm also feeling like, well, what would I do when I get there? Because I don't have any money. I'm useless. I don't have any skill. Like, you know, I get that feeling of like choking, like, well, what am I doing with my life? And like, I went on that chemistry read and went great. I didn't get it, and that's okay. I'm not upset about that. But it's just another thing where you're like, you know, and I feel like, oh, you're putting in so much work. And the hard thing is that I'm not. I know I'm not working hard. Like, making sure the apartment like was clean and everything. I've been on top of like making sure the apartment's clean and like, you know, making sure my life around me is a little bit more tidy. And that was like as if I got a full-time job, because just getting out of bed for that 20 minutes to do the dishes or to make a meal, to cook, to eat was so hard for me. And I let myself just kind of get into these patterns of just slump, and I'll lay and I'll watch other YouTubers or Instagram and compare myself to people, compare myself to actors, compare myself to other YouTubers, where I'll just be like, you know, this is what my life should be. Like, I'm comparing myself to other people constantly, because that's what social media is. You're advertising yourself 24/7. Like, and it's kind of like this huge competition of, you know, whose life is better, or who's doing a more interesting thing, or whose picture is better, or getting more likes, or whatever. And even if you're doing it just for fun or whatever, social media is crazy. And the fact that I'm trying to even, you know, partake in this thing is insane to me, especially in the emotional state that I am. But I think that it's important, you know, and the reason why I'm doing Vlogmas, even though there's 10 or 20 people watching, is because it's something for me to do. Honestly, I am constantly 24/7 taking in content, absorbing other people's lives, other people's business, other people's Instagrams, other people's Facebooks, other people, that I don't actually work on anything, and I don't actually put effort into anything else, because I feel like watching someone else's life has replaced living mine. And that's really scary, because now I have no idea how to live a life. I don't know what to do. I feel like I can't, and I feel like I shouldn't, because what's the point? Because like, my life is in these walls, and I feel like that's the only way. And the 1975 have a new album, and it's really great, but the last song, I always feel like I want to die sometimes, perfectly sums this up. He talks about how it's going to feel like, what's the point? But you can't always ask other people to pull you around, and just, you know, expect them to be there all the time and push you out of your funk, or you know, because you're just dragging other people down with you at that point. So you have to really fight to pull yourself up and keep going, because that's what you need to do. Go away. Oh my God, why is everyone freaking out because I'm sitting on the ground? Like, I'm not here to play with you. I'm here to talk to the video. I'm just really struggling with what I'm going to do and who I'm going to be, and I'm putting a lot of my self-worth into things I do, and because I don't do a lot, I feel useless or worthless, or like I'm nothing, and that's a really scary place to be. And I know that everyone has kind of felt that a little bit, but I have felt that for the last year and a half. And it's really, really taken a toll on who I am as a person. And anyone who has known me before this year and a half, it is scary the change that has been made. And like my family is scared. Well, who I talk to of my family, my close friends, what's left of them, my boyfriend, who is so amazing and so sweet and so he's trying so hard to just put up with me and help me and push me, but not too hard, or he's never had to deal with anything like this, and neither have I. And so we're kind of like on this struggle bus together of like, well, what do we do? How do we make you better? And it's kind of like, I don't know. And this might be the blood out of my vagina talking, but I don't know if I'll ever be the same. And that's scary, because I want nothing more than to just be the fearless, spunky person who didn't care what people thought, or really deeply did, but never let people know that. And in college, I got very confident in my skin, and I thought I was beautiful, and I was just trying more, and I was meeting new people, and I met beautiful people who were lifting me up all the time. But recently, I feel so ugly. And this isn't in like a looks sense either. It's in like a feeling sense, where I'm like, I'm not contributing to anything. I feel like I'm not doing anything. So why? And I feel like I'm drowning, in the sense of like, I just want someone to like reach in and pull me out, because I've stopped trying to swim. I'm running with this analogy, aren't I? But it's like I've completely given up a few times, and then I'll like, no, Sherilyn, stop being dramatic. You have to put in work. But then there's no results, or if there is, they're so minute that your anxious mind doesn't let you notice them. And now it's the minute things of, I have put a video up every single day for the whole week. A whole week. I have not left dishes in the sink for a whole week. I have swept every day for a whole week. These are things where it's like, at least if I'm not leaving the house, at least I'm doing everything here that I can. And I've been reading Abby Jacobson's new book, and she's everything I wanted to be. I wanted to be an actress, or I wanted to be writing comedy, and I wanted to be on SNL, and I was going to do that. And all of my old friends that I talked to from college, and they're so funny, because then they're like, oh, I can't wait to see you on SNL. But I'm like, I have completely given up on that. And that's so sad to say. Oh God, it's a really hard thing to give up on your dream. Especially when I'm 21, holy shit. And it's not that I've given up. That's not true. That's not true. I've not given up. I feel like I should. I'm not gonna let myself give up. This video's all over the place, y'all. I can't let myself let go of that. Even if it feels very impossible. I have to have that there. I put all my eggs in one basket when it came to acting, and I'll never forget. One of the first times I ever got a role in college, my wonderful instructor Greg, who has changed my life in 1,001 ways, but he pulled me into his office before I was even considered to be in a role, and he looked at me and he said, I have a question to ask you, because he knew I was a theater major. And he said, Sherilyn, is there anything else? I mean, anything else you can see yourself doing? Just anything. Can you think of one thing that you want to do other than acting? And I thought, And I thought, and I honestly said, no. And he said, okay. Then this is for you then. He's like, because you will not put up with it if there's anything. If you know, and that's why I don't like to have a plan B, because if there's a plan B, we'll fall to it 100% of the time. If you have a backup plan, that's what it's going to be, because you're giving yourself that option. And then, I know that's out of safety, and I bet people with backup plans are not crying on camera right now about how they feel like their life will never amount to anything. But you know what? I don't care. You know? It's what I want. Oh shit. It's acting or nothing. And I went, story time. I went to a palm reader when I was in high school, and I hadn't really talked about wanting to be an actress that much, because I wasn't really sure. The palm reader was like, do you want to do something in entertainment, like in film? And I was like, yeah, I want to be an actress. And she said, okay, I see that here, that you're going to do that, and you're going to do great things, but only if you keep going. So I was like, okay, girl. Now I'm crying on my fucking dining room, living room floor, like, I don't know if I can keep going. This is for you, palm reader in high school. I'll keep going for you. Man, I don't know what this video is gonna be. It's probably gonna be a fucking bitch to edit.
Yeah, it is.
I like sitting down and I like talking about my anxiety and depression, because it's tough shit. It's hard. It's really, 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 really hard. Especially when you're having an identity crisis and you feel this big all the time and you feel like you can't do anything in your life. And I don't really know where my life is going in the direction that it's heading or what it's doing. All I know is that I want to be happier in my situation right now. I don't need my situation to change to be happier. I want to work on finding happiness where I am, so I'm not always trying to daydream about what's going to happen when this happens, or if only we could have this, then my life would be better. It's like, no, that's not how it's going to work. I want to find happiness here and now. And I think that comes with opening my eyes and really taking things into perspective, and just working on who I am as a person and what I could be doing with the resources I have now. I don't know. I'm just rambling. You know what? Let's end this video with just a nice few breaths and just kind of center ourselves. Okay, we had a good cathartic moment, and let's just sit up straight, take some easy, deep belly breaths, do some quick stretches, and then we can go lay back in bed, okay? This was a doozy, and it's going to be a doozy to edit, I'm sure. Sorry, future editing Sherilyn, but
Don't worry about it.
please be kind to yourself, guys. I know that's easier said than done, but please just be kind to yourself. It really does help to just be positive. Gingy, you gotta be sweet to yourself, huh? That's it for this video. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please follow me on Instagram at SherilynRenee. It'll be linked down below. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.